Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to another episode, number 46. I feel 46 today. Holy shit, I'm so tired.
I ain't even 46.
Y'all bear with me. You pretty fucking close, though. You gonna be 45 in like 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, bear with me today. I'm extremely exhausted, you guys. We had a long, late night, but it was fun.
Yeah, we did a ghost hunt.
Yeah, we
That's
went to
cool.
the Lefty Indian Village and did their Sagili hunt, and it was
Shit, I
fun.
gotta look through those pictures.
Yeah, you had to look through the pictures. It's pretty cool. I do too. I need to figure out how to upload my pictures to the computer. It's going to be a lot after I take a nap. All right, we are back today to finish our coverage of the maniac Christopher Columbus. Columbus?
Columbus.
Columbus. Tired. I feel like the girl last night doing tarot. Okay. When we left you last week, Colombo had managed to convince the Spanish crown to fund his fourth and final voyage to the Americas. This was after he spent several weeks wasting away in a dungeon on accusations of unimaginable cruelty towards the native peoples. On May 5th, 1502, Columbus set out on his final voyage with the Santa Maria and 3 other vessels. There were 140 men across the 4 ships, including Bart, his brother, as a second in command, and his son Fernando.
Black Bart.
No, no, sir. He first sailed to Aslan. Asland. They went
All
to
right.
Narnia.
Nice.
On the Moroccan coast on a rescue mission. It was said that Portuguese soldiers were besieged by Moors, but by the time Colombo and his men arrived, the siege was over, so they only stayed for 1 day before heading to the Canary Islands. Quick side note, I don't love using the word Moor. It feels like a slur, but I don't really know how other people from this area feel about that. So if you are from that area, the Moroccan coast, if Moor is like a slur, send us an email, drop us a comment, let us know. That's what Wikipedia called them. And it like is a word pretty much for like Muslim people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It feels icky.
Right.
The fleet spent a few days at Martinique before heading westward towards Haiti when Colombo noticed a storm forming. Arriving at Santo Domingo on June 29th, the fleet was turned away by the governor, none other than Francisco de Bobadilla.
Nice.
It's Bob again.
Bobadilla.
Hey, it's Bob again. Not only would Bob not let the fleet anchor there, he also would not listen to Colombo's warning about the coming storm. Because, men and women are the emotional ones. So while the fleet was anchored in the mouth of the Rio Janeiro, Bob sent a Spanish treasure fleet, a convoy of ships sending goods back to mainland Spain, out into the storm. 20 out of the 30 ships he sent out were lost,
Damn.
along with 500 people, including Bob.
Damn.
Bob died because Bob didn't want to listen to Colombo.
Sorry,
Dumbass.
Bob. I wouldn't want to listen to him neither.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to listen to it. I would probably have done the same thing, but After a pit stop in Jamaica, the fleet sailed to Central America, arriving at Honduras on July 30th. They spent the next 2 months exploring Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. And this is what I was thinking about last night when we were talking about Apocalyptico. And we were talking about like the Mayans and the Aztecs.
Mm-hmm.
And you said like they were like the movie. I haven't seen Apocalyptico, so he was telling me about it and how at the end the two tribal members were standing with each other and then they see a ship. And I'm like, this is uh, July 30th. They saw Columbus and they're like, oh shit.
Yep.
On October 5th, Colombo found a channel that led to Almirante Bay in Panama. As soon as he anchored there, he ran into the native Nagabi people in canoes. He would not leave this area until April 16th, 1503, to head back to I-80. They would get caught in a storm in June around Cuba and would end up stranded at St. Ann Parish, Jamaica.
Jamaica, man.
Jamaica! Which, I don't think Jamaica had black people before colonization, and that kind of blows my fucking mind. Because they're every fucking where down there now. Also, prayers and good vibes for Jamaica. Melissa turned into a category 4 storm overnight.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's like it's worse than Helene.
Yeah.
And it's getting ready to hit Jamaica. So ancestors protect those people.
Batting them down, guys. Batting them down.
Colombo and his men would be stranded on this island for 6 months before they were finally rescued. His personal secretary, Diego Menendez de Segura, and a Spanish shipmate, Bartholomew Falisco, which I think was the guy that first spotted the islands.
A shipmate.
A shipmate.
A shipmate.
Ship, not shit. Ship.
Oh, shipmate.
Yes. Along with half a dozen of the natives, paddled a canoe to Haiti in an attempt to get help. This would take some time as the new governor of the island, Nicholas de Ovando e Caceres, Caceres, probably that one, hated Colombo and went out of his way to obstruct efforts to rescue the men. It would take them until June of 1504 before they were rescued and sent back to Spain.
Mm.
In 1505, a very ill Colombo settled in Seville where he pestered the crown to keep funding his family. See, since he was no longer governor of any of the new land that Spain had claimed for themselves, they felt like they did not need to keep with their previous agreement. Oh my god, the monarchy backing out of a promise? A president not following through on his word? A taco, if you will?
Whoever heard of such thing?
A taco, if you will?
Let's ask the Americans.
On May 20th, 1506, at 54 years old, Christopher Columbus died. Holla fucking Columbo's voyages were a turning point in the history of the world. His travels marked the beginning of globalization and brought the two hemispheres of the world together. For a while after his exploits, Colombo did not garner much attention. In fact, he was a bit of a loser for his failure as a colonial administrator. They were like, yeah, you a dumbass. But in the late 1500s, he began to pop up in Spanish and Italian poems and plays as an example of being civilized versus not. It would not be until the late 1700s that Colombo became an icon in the US. His landing became a powerful symbol. There is a statue that was commissioned by President Martin Van Buren named The Discovery of America. Look this up. You're gonna fucking hate it.
Okay.
Just so you're forewarned. The Discovery of America statue.
Is he naked?
No. It shows Colombo and a cowering native woman.
Oh yeah.
Quote, as recorded during its unveiling in 1844, the sculpture extends to represent the meeting of the two races as per Seco, which was the sculpture, captures first interaction, highlighting the moral and intellectual inferiority of the natives.
What the hell?
End quote. Hey, what time they close the gate?
Oh my god. Y'all people are so stupid.
You knew I was gonna have to bring it up, and I'll probably bring it up on the other show too.
Right.
Because what the fuck? Um, yeah. So we said earlier we went to the kind of left to Indian Village last night. And we were talking to some of the girls that worked there before we left, and one of them, I don't remember, she worked at the casino, and she said that one of the customers asked her, "So when do they close the gates at night?" And she said, "I'm sorry, what?" And he was like, to keep the natives on the reservation. And then I knocked over my hot chocolate on the tarot reader's table. My ghast was flabbered.
Yeah.
Man. This statue stood outside of the Capitol building until it was removed in the 1900s.
Nice.
Later in the century, the Colombo myth was again co opted, but this time by immigrants such as Italian and Irish people. Since the 1990s, the true history of Colombo has been competing with this lie. Maybe his crimes were not as terrible as Bob claimed they were, not that I believe that, but his exploration opened the door to all kinds of people coming from the quote unquote old world with all kinds of diseases and bad intentions to the quote unquote new world.
Yep.
And while Colombo has been credited with being the first European to set foot in the Americas, that's not true.
Nope.
After settling Iceland and Greenland, the Norse set sail and were the first to reach North America some 500 years before Columbus.
Mm.
So in the 900s.
Right.
Now to the brutality.
I always thought it was Ponce de Leon.
No, Ponce de Leon came after Colombo.
Gotcha.
And not long after Colombo, but he came after Colombo.
I thought he was the first, but
No.
it's
Nope.
been a long time since I've been in that third grade.
Well, they wouldn't tell you
Yeah.
that the Nordic people were the ones that landed here first because
Sure.
that
Of
doesn't
course.
align with the great discovery myth
Yeah.
that they like to push in our American school system.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. Um, yeah, we suck. We suck at that.
Yeah.
I work with a lady named Fatima from Bosnia. Ooh, if I said that wrong. Um, and she was like, "Yeah, they taught us everything in school, everything."
Right.
And then she got a crash course in war in her teenage years, which is real sad. All right, now to the brutality of Colombo. One of his friends, a Michel da Quino, kept records of the abuse he dished out to a native woman that was quote unquote given to him by Colombo. According to some historians, the punishment for not paying the gold tax every 6 months for people 14 and older was to cut off their hands and leave them bleeding out.
Jesus.
Now, there is some argument that some of these accounts came from anti Spanish people. There is something they like to call the Black Legend, claiming historical texts are biased against the Catholic Church. But let me get something straight here. If the uncovering of over 6,000 children's bodies in mass graves just in Canada alone does not prove that the Catholic Church is guilty of evil across the globe,
Yep.
what the fuck is going to convince people?
Right.
It's not a black legend, it's
Right.
who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
I believe it was Maya Angelou that said it. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Right.
And we can thank Colombo for bringing Africans to the Americas. The first licensed ship, the first license to ship enslaved Africans to the Caribbeans was given to the first royal governor of Haiti, Nicholas de Ovando. So the guy that took over after Bob was given the first license to ship Africans to the Caribbeans.
Mm,
That's why they're there today.
right.
But that didn't stop the colonization of the islands from killing off the native populations. It is not known the total populations for these areas due to the time frame, but one third to at least one half of the native had died in Haiti the first 2 years Colombo was the governor there.
Wow.
So, pretty sure this is where Leopold Bonaparte, or Leopold II, King of Belgium, got his fucking shit from. Because,
Yeah.
like, what? Or, I don't know, maybe it's just in certain people's DNA. Just saying. It is believed a disease swept through the island on Colombo's second voyage. Add to that the harsh work environments. It is said that at least one third of the natives forced to work in the silver and gold mines died every 6 months.
I'm sure.
Every 6 months. For one, they're not meant to fucking be underground.
No.
Okay? Indigenous folks are meant to be out there in the fucking wilderness, like, not living, like, in the holes where they can't breathe and there's no sunlight and they're being forced to work.
Yeah.
It is believed in the century that followed Colombo's invasion, 90% of the native population was killed off from
Damn.
Central America. Just gone. Much of this was due to a combination of disease and forced labor. None of the native populations had immunity to the diseases that were brought in by the Europeans. I think they said something like 80% died from smallpox. Or
Jeez.
no, it was like there was an 80% death rate with smallpox.
Yeah.
So, like, because they have no immunity against that shit.
No.
Even if they survived the disease, they were sent right back into the mines and given no time to really rest. And it wasn't just one illness. Each time new people would come to the land, they ran the risk of a new disease showing up with them. So those who survived one got taken out by another. Needless to say, I am of the school of thought and belief that we should not be celebrating this man. Nothing good came from his quote unquote discovery of Turtle Island. I say this as a quote unquote American with all the alleged rights that come with that. Maybe, just maybe, if we actually learn the truth about his exploits and those of people like him, maybe we would be more respectful of the native people of the land. But as long as we live in this capitalist driven society, that is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, thoughts?
Dude was a shithead.
That's an understatement. Patty's a shithead sometimes. This guy.
I mean, if it wasn't for him, none of us would probably be here. But at the same time, it doesn't condone his shitty behavior.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
let's learn better, y'all.
listen, something about me, y'all. I'm not scared of death. I am, oh, excuse me. I am waiting for the day that sweet, sweet rest takes me out of this world, okay? I'm not upset if I never existed. I would much rather I didn't exist and indigenous people got to keep their land and grow it and develop it as they saw fit.
Right.
So, when people are, "Oh, well, you wouldn't be here if they hadn't," I that's not that doesn't scare me, folks.
Right.
That doesn't upset me. The thought of not being here because somebody didn't discover this land doesn't upset me, so don't come at me with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just real, especially after hearing shit last night. I'm so done with people. I'm so done with people. I'm so done with people. All right, friends. Thanks for being with us through the journey of the life of Christopher Columbus. Um, I recommend taking a look through a calendar at the federal holidays. We have in honor of people and doing some research. Obviously, we'll cover more people when their holidays roll around, if I think about it. Oh my God, excuse me, guys. Coke, not cane, cola.
Yeah, most of the ones on the US holidays are shit.
Are shit bags.
Yeah.
I mean, Veterans Day is alright. Veterans didn't do much. Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Sorry, I broke. Um, I'm gonna have to cover that one because, nah, we don't celebrate that shit no more.
Nope.
Alright, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you guys next week.
See you guys. Be kind to each other.
Love you, bye.
Love you guys.